Welcome once again to Manga Mondays, the only manga show with a constant threat of helicopter noise that's filmed all at once, 5 episodes at a time, and released over the course of weeks. Today's Manga Monday, we'll be talking about In Clothes Called Fat by Moyoko Anno, which has a very cool, striking cover that I really like. For those who don't know, Moyoko Anno is the wife of Hideaki Anno. She wrote Sugar Sugar Rune and the Insufficient Direction, the manga about being married to Hideaki Anno. And I enjoyed that manga, and I wanted to know more of her work because she's a pretty prolific and famous josei author. Not a lot of josei stuff gets brought to America. This is one of the very few cases where it did. And it's published by Vertical. Which is somewhat unfortunate because this has the most pretentious back copy I've ever read. I'm going to read it to you because it's so fucking embarrassing to me. It says, I'm going to skip the part where it's just summarizing the plot and go right to the praise for the book. Originally serialized in a major weekly news magazine for adult women, Shukan Josei, the first of its kind to be launched in Japan, this early gem from graphic novel megastar Moyoko Anno may be her most searing work to be published in English yet, closer in spirit to some of the best stateside indie comics. Originally, given its mainstream pedigree, or ironically, given its mainstream pedigree, than to most translated manga. In Clothes Called Fat is an indispensable addition to your growing library of sequential art for mature readers. I hate Vertical for this shit, because they constantly try to make... Vertical's always out to make everything they publish sound like the fanciest, coolest, most, like, adult, mature books. You know, like, their stuff is, like it's somehow better and more, like, premium, which they charge $17 for a volume, so, you know, it's I feel like they get away with charging more for stuff because they try to present it as being fancier and more adult and more mature, when it's just fucking manga, you know? It, like, yes, it is a story that is more adult than normal, but that does not make it better than, you know, than everything else, to the point that they're saying that it's comparable to stateside indie comics as opposed to most translated manga, because apparently most translated manga is just garbage and indie comics are so fucking cool. But that's neither here nor there. So this is a very adult story with lots of outright nudity from page 1 that I'm probably not going to show the camera, even though it's kind of the art style is very, like, it's got this, like, josei look to it, but everything's very wobbly and sort of undefined. Like, there's very little, like, hard lines to it. Everything is sort of drawn in a, I don't know how to describe that. It's like like bubbly almost. And basically, it's about this really fat lady who she's in a relationship with a guy who just likes her fat. And he, like, just keeps letting her get fatter and fatter because he has control issues and wants a girl who will be subservient and just love him unconditionally, even though he doesn't really care about her all that much and is fucking one of her coworkers on the side. Her coworker being, you know, the hot, beautiful, trendy girl who also is a total psycho and likes her men to be subservient, and she's like dominating. And the guy likes her because she reminds him of his dominating mother, but he also hates his mother and wants someone subservient that he can kind of bully on. But as much as that would make you think you would be sympathetic to this fat girl who's kind of the victim in this situation, her way of dealing with this is never to learn from her mistakes and to get better. She does eventually figure out how to lose fat, but none of it makes her a better person, and if anything, she just perpetuates the cycle that the other people have put on her, and just kind of becomes as shitty as the rest of them. So this is a very dark manga. Everyone in this is a bad guy. No one is sympathetic. Everyone is just going through the harshness of their personal lives. Everyone is driven by their hang-ups. They're all, you know, emotionally destroyed people. They're manipulative. Some of them are just downright evil. And the artwork's really odd and kind of off-kilter. I mean, I don't see this art appealing to everybody, but I think it's good for the story. I think it's good that the characters are all a little ugly because they are certainly ugly on the inside. Um, yeah, it's just a really fucked story. It's just you watch this girl, this fat girl, and at first you're kind of hoping for her to get better, but then as the manga goes along, you start to feel like, you know what? Fuck her. Fuck her. She's not making good decisions, and in a way, she's, her reasons for being fucked up are only as valid as anyone else's reasons in the story. And in the end, they all just come off as going down the wrong path, and no one's really happy in the end. No one comes out on top. Everyone treats each other badly, moves on. And it's brutal. It's almost like tonally, I would put it similar to like Birdman, the movie. Like it's the kind of thing that, like, you completely understand why everyone acts the way they do, and you can't even really blame them in a way, but at the same time you can't forgive them for the terrible things they do to each other and themselves. So yeah, if you just want to see some bleak shit about the perpetuating cycle of being fat or skinny, when really it's not the fat or it was never this woman's size that was her problem. It was her attitude and personality and those of everyone around her. There's a great line in here where this weight coach who had been trying to help her says, like, she says, her weight was never her problem. Her soul is fat. And it's a fucking incredible line. So yeah, if you've always wanted to see more josei manga, something serious and adult and biting and cynical and sexual, there's a lot of sex in this, actually. This will scratch that itch. Just don't expect a happy story. Don't expect anything uplifting. Don't expect to see a character turn their life around and get better. This is a story about people being fucking miserable and terrible. And that's it for this episode of Manga Mondays. Join me next Monday for another manga that I can talk about that maybe won't be so sad.